Imagine that you are an employee of the company and you encounter an executive who asks why sustainable development is important and how that is linked to the team's topic. You have 90 seconds in which to convince the executive why this needs to be addressed. One member of the team will do this, and you can just let me know when you're ready and I'll start the time.
I'm glad to see on the next innovation meeting, we have planned to start discussing central bank digital currencies. The possibility of creating a more sustainable, inclusive banking system is so inspiring. We have an opportunity to make banking more feasible for everyone, and we know we can't truly see economic growth unless all Canadians are involved. With all of the systemic barriers in accessing banking that Indigenous Canadians continue to face, it's only more amplified by the simple fact that there are so few banks that are physically accessible on First Nations land, in rural locations, and even in low-income neighborhoods. How will we ever level the playing field if our vulnerable populations can't even locate a nearby bank? CBDCs help close this gap and empower all Canadians to use banking services to their advantage. Our government, employers, and users themselves will have access to send funds directly to individuals without the need for cashing a check or visiting a bank. Not only does this remove geographical barriers, it also gives all Canadians an opportunity to build up a legitimate record of financial history. This means far less reliance on predatory lenders who take advantage of Canadians without financial records. Our mandate to promote ethical and financial welfare of Canada is clearly being missed, but our digital currency can be the catalyst for change.
Very well done. Alana, good job staying focused with, I could tell there was stuff going on in the background, but it didn't seem to phase you at all. No, it's great. I mean, that's life, that's what happens. So I wanna compliment the team for doing a really great job. I can tell this is a topic that needed a lot of research, and you would have had to put a lot of work into this to figure out all the issues, the obstacles, and then what are the policies and the mechanisms for dealing with all of those. So I can tell all of the work that would have had to go into a proposal and a presentation like this. What I guess my one piece of advice would be, especially when we're on a Zoom kind of situation like this, is to think of ways to make it more like you're talking to somebody, you know, presenting to the board or whatever it is, rather than reading a script. Because you can tell when somebody is reading a script, and it's really hard from the listener's perspective to necessarily keep up. I think we all explain things differently if we're writing a paper or if we're talking to somebody, you know, at a Starbucks over a cup of coffee. And so I would just encourage you to think of ways to move towards that latter scenario where, because that's how we are in this situation, right? We're looking at each other, you're talking to an audience. And so you want the content to come through in a way that it can be received and consumed, especially when you don't have any slides or visuals to accompany what you're saying. So if you're reading a script, you can tend to go fast, and it's hard for the listener to catch all of the detail and stay up. There's like a completely different cadence, I guess. So that would be the thing that I would suggest working on and maybe being deliberate about in presentations like this. But in terms of the content, I think the content was all there. I was listening for certain things. You know, I did all the questions that were happening inside my head. All those questions were answered. So all in all, I think it was a very good job.